Right, ladies and gentlemen, we have first day of mother freaking play-ins, first day of Worlds. Super exciting stuff. It's good to be back. Let's have a little check-in on where we are in terms of the meta. We didn't have any game that was faster, no pentakills, decent amount of Hextech Drakes, especially in that last game that was played, so that's okay. I think we had like 4 Hextech Drakes. No Baron steals, even though we could maybe argue that the Viking Esports Baron was a steal. And no reverse because it's best of 3s. Poppy was played in the support position in game 1. Cassandra was picked in 2 games, so nothing in the second series. In the other series, we did have like Vayne coming through and a bunch of stuff. Yon was banned only once, played twice, Akali 2-0 up. Leona was only played in the final game, so these things are completely untouched. Ashe got banned 4 times, was pretty clutch, right? That was pretty big. This is the wrong thing. This is the LEC season finals, bro. Bring me to Worlds. Bring me to Worlds, baby. We have of course the Camille. Camille was a big one for a lot of people. They put it as their champion to be 100% win ratio, and VKE kind of ruined it by picking Camille. Obviously, this is like the danger that you're running. And then we had, of course, Nidalee winning 2 games, Jinx winning 2 games. Some people had Jinx as a high winners champ, high presence champ. On this side, we had the first time Ashe, 4 Ashe bans, so that's the champion that got banned the most. Here, Skana was out, and then finally we had a Skana ban in game 3 here for PNG, so that's 3 bans for Skana. Everything else is relatively close. I think Ziggs was 3 as well. Ziggs. But first day, you know, played out. Looking at the drafts, like Mad Lions had this tech where they just wanted to play a swapping game with Jinx. They came into this series knowing that if they scale better, they will play better. And I think that was a fair assessment. I think it was good to see that side of Mad Lions. They had the Jinx draft. And we went Orianna Poppy. I think the big mistake here from VKE is that they lost kind of focus on what the strengths of their champions were and what the strengths of the enemy champions were. Because when you're picking Orianna, Poppy, Ezreal, I think that sending Poppy into K'Sante could be super good. You could be the composition that plays on longer range. And then you can add things to the composition that kind of make more sense. I think committing to Lee Sin Camille makes less sense in my mind. Nautilus Syndra was locked in, and basically Mad Lions ran back the exact same draft in this game. I think the VKE actually brought a pretty decent draft to the table here in game number 2 with Orianna Jhin. Orianna Jhin Jarvan value against Syndra and Jinx, and then you can ban, of course, to set up the Jarvan, and then the Alistar and Durrell. I think that all across the board, they have good matchups. They also have a pretty decent scaling and good skirmishing, good team fighting. I think this is a very well-rounded composition, but this is a game where Alvaro completely won behind. But first, let's take a look at Mad Lions. I think the main thing to highlight is just that Mad Lions really played a heavy swap game. They sent their swaps in, they set up the situation where basically the adaptation to swapping right now is that just because of the changes to XP is that supers take level 2 on mid and top laners take level 2 on top because you get level 2 after 9 creeps. Sharing XP is not as punishing as it used to be because you just get more XP when you're S2. So that was the adaptation. Here in this spot, I think just the big mistake here is that Nanaue it didn't skill E. He has WQ here and skilled the wrong spell, which means that he has to flash and doesn't have the CC to chain Alvaro and then flashes after. And then he gets a turret aggro instead of Shogun, which means that Mid will get 1 for 1 and catch the majority of the wave. And the follow-up, of course, is that Nanaue is going to TP top with a longsword, so he's going to miss a little bit. Probably not, because it's a cannon wave that is tanking the turret, so he doesn't miss too much. But this is like a fairly even spot. But at the same time, blue side got what they wanted, right? They got out of the early Poppy Ezreal lane, and after this, Jinx and Nautilus can maintain momentum. And they also got a kind of a good start because they caught the enemy off guard. Here we have the standard swap, right? The push into bot and the swap into top on the 530 wave. Midwin is going to just base and walk into bottom side. Very standard stuff, right? Nidalee is picked here just because they want something with full fast clear speed, and I think it's comfort. I think that's what it comes down to. We continue. Standard swap 530 Jinx and Nautilus can push. This is something that BDS really love doing in regular split, so Mad Lions brought a piece of BDS with them to this competition. All right, we continue. Fast forward. This was a pretty decent setup once again here from Mad Lions. The setup for grub number 2. Kisanta's in bottom side already, and Camille already TP top. They spotted the enemy under the turret here, and that made them read the play. Enemy is full top side 5-man, and Mad Lions, all they need to do is walk away. The nerf didn't matter at all, guys. The nerf to lane swap didn't matter at all. As you can see, like in the aftermath, the enemy team got 1 blading bot here, as you can see on the number down there. The swap doesn't matter at all. We continue. Have Drake number 3 here coming up. I think in this series, if I have to highlight a player that kind of underperformed in my mind, is Midwin. I think definitely, like, already before this series, I thought I overrated him. I should have put YamatoCannon over him in my top tier list, but it is what it is, you know. I'll tank it on the chin. I put it there and wrote it there. It was just 2 hours deep into rating players, so it's just kind of like whatever, CBA at that point. We continue. The Drake is coming up. I think Mad Lions showed decent macro understanding when it came to this Drake situation. I'll just show it real quick. I was surprised that Viking Esports actually chose not to just contest it. Like, they decided to siege mid. Camille can open right now. I know that Jinx has 2 items and it's kind of scary, but I think that if if they are in position first, they can actually create like a favorable situation. Because right now they have a pretty good tempo swing here. They can clear the vision and leash the Drake out, but they just decide to abandon it the moment they see Jinx. And I think this is a moment where you shouldn't read into the inventories too much and just play position, in my opinion. But here you just siege and then Camille goes top, and they just kind of abandoned it and gave Mad Lions this Drake. I think this was a chance to do more, because I feel like time isn't the best friend of red side. So I think that putting yourself on soul point there to curve out to make sure that Ezreal's on 2 core on soul, I think is much better. The final thing I want to show in this game, I guess, is just the Nash take that Viking Esports drop, which is a pretty good one. Here in this spot, I think that Viking Esports make a very crucial mistake. I think in general, in my mind, I think that Viking Esports most of the time were just way too split in their objective fights. It seemed like it comes back to the point that I made in draft, right? Where Camille and Lee want to play a very different game to Orianna and Ezreal, and they never played around Orianna and Ezreal to contest the same space. It was often that they were caught and then they were approaching the objectives from different angles. K-pop is late to the picture, and they're just entering, you know, from different angles here, which I don't like too much. I think the same is true later on too. This is the secret Nash. After reviewing this, I think the main thing for Mad Lions after the Drake situation, we don't see it because of the replay, I think Mad Lions should just reset. Because they win the fight around Drake, and then the extension is that they want to pressure Nash because people are dead. I think in hindsight here, Mad Lions should just recall. You know, I think it's just the most important thing. Yeah, I think that Viking Esports actually spotted a very nice timing because they know blue side didn't base yet. So usually they should serve as a base cancellation if you start hitting Nash in this spot. But Rihanna TPs, she TPs on the mid wave, Lee Sin heals, and then they just, after Poppy clearing this ping, they just start hitting, of course, the Nasher. It's a very nice play. They know that the enemy has, of course, you know, The enemy, of course, had the base, and they just steal Nash under the nose. I think this was a very good play from Viking Esports, because usually this should serve as a base cancellation, and I think Mad Lions should have just based after the Drake from the previous situation. Here, Viking Esports, once again, they are first on the objective, but the big mistake is that no one's placing their pinks. They have 3 pinks in the inventory, just place a pink in the dig bush, and all of a sudden the situation changes completely. The issue is that they have vision over Kati this entire time, which allows Mad Lions to approach and to, of course, GG it, you know. Another issue here for Mad Lions is that even though that they played well macro-wise in comparison to what we used to, I do think that you saw some signs of old Mad Lions. You see Syndra splitting off here on the mid-wave, dying to Camille, and then the chase onto here, while as like Lee Sin managed to secure the Drake, took it in front of the nose of everybody else, while Elio is fighting over here up top. And it's basically because Jinx and Nautilus are just hitting. Elioya is like going around to undermine, and they're hitting Drake to finish it, but Guri just goes and collects it with a Q and a smite in the air, you know? So, Mad Lions, very discombobulated, crazy fighting, a little bit all over the place. That's something to pay attention to, as they're going to have tougher opponents as things, of course, continue. Here, I think the final thing, which was so weird, Midwin W's forward. This is fucking really, really horrible. I think that this was dangerous. Midwin could have died here if they wanted to send the abilities, Camille ult on that, and just play and kill Midwin. That's potential. After that, Midwin gets out. He even gets cancelled by Ezreal, so he doesn't get to TP back instantly. The main thing here is just Bia doesn't connect with his... Once again, they don't connect with their carries. They have 3 people flanking from this spot, and Orianna and Ezreal have no realistic way of playing the game. And I don't know why Bia is in this spot. He's just completely useless. He should have hex flashed over. He should have repositioned. He shouldn't have pushed so far into this side. He could have tethered to his teammates, because his job is to tank the Nautilus hook, WM, and allow for like these two to actually push it forward. But look how much space Alvaro can create, because this Poppy is in Zimbabwe, you know? The hook lands, sure he can flash it, but either way, the position is just so terrible, you know? So... BKE had some spots to do more, but they didn't. Let's take a look at game number 2. This one is much quicker, because straight up Alvaro just completely 1v9s it instantly. So another lane swap scenario. Alvaro takes level 2 on the wave. With the ward, he spotted Guri. Guri makes a crucial mistake that he doesn't do blue buff into Gromp, because if he does blue buff into Gromp, then he gets level 3 of the Raptors. And the Raptors is much easier to kill, right? Here in this spot, he does blue into Raptor into red. Won't get level 3 unless he took XP from somewhere, right? So this is really, really bad. I think that Alvaro just spots his HP and goes on to the red to save it. And then Guri drops so low, doesn't pot up earlier. I don't know why he doesn't pot up. And then he just gets fucking snapped here, pots up on the Ignite. And now he's in big trouble. Already the fact that his tempo is so fucked is really, really bad. It means that Kesante can TP people for free because they can't dive him. There's no jungle and he's level 2. Alvaro, in the end, you know, with the prio on mid, also collects this guy. Syndra gets a kill, and BA is also super, super deep, and Alvaro has his cooldowns again. That's the Q. And now the W is coming up too. And they're chilling, you know. I thought remember that the BL burned flash for some reason, but it isn't the case. It was just that Kati died. So once again, Kesant and TP's bot catches fucking 3 waves on the turret, no problem. Yeah, here we can highlight something that is super important for future games like this, is that obviously you should take Gromp so you get level 3 on the next camp that you take. That's important for Javan, right? Additionally, I think that Mad Lions recognize, you know, I think here you need to contest the wave, because getting level 2 first actually matters a lot. Because Alistar is much later because of the level 2, and Alvaro is already here, while Alistar is taking level 2 later. So I think if they contest the wave, trade HP, Orianna posture forward, they trade HP and actually contest, it's much better for, of course, jungle and everything else in the game, you know? So there's that. And now as a follow-up, Guri is trying to collect his Gromp because there's no other camps to take, and Mad Lions are very good at this, they're aware of this, and they snap at the neck, of course, of Guri. There was some moments with Mad Lions, you know, you're like, oh, could they actually lose this game? But obviously they were too far ahead, and eventually they just kind of ham-fisted the victory, but it gave flashbacks of some LEC games that we saw. Next games follow up here. We have, in terms of what we know about the meta read, Scanner, High Presence, Rumble Tristana was locked in. In my opinion, while PSG lost this game, I don't think it's necessarily tied to draft alone. I think that PSG can definitely win this game. I think that they played horrendously. I think that you can argue that Yon, Sejuani, Jax are higher quality champs in comparison to the top side. But I personally didn't think Rumble would get picked at all. I think that's fair to say. I didn't think it would get picked at all because Rumble is a champion that is very easy to gank. But if he's strong, then it's hard to gank. But if he's weak, he's very weak because he is only one way to farm. That is to either ult the wave or to be on the wave, right? So when Rumble falls behind or is weaker, he's in big trouble. Old Rumble was so OP early, so he could always get ahead and he could control the wave, he could do whatever the fuck he wanted, right? Rumble took a lot of nerfs on the Q damage, E damage, that scales the same with levels, right? But nevertheless, this particular game, I think that PSG had a pretty solid draft. I think Lucian Nami is hard to execute against Miss Fortune Rel because Miss Fortune buys BT, right? And she of course, in my mind, Miss Fortune just lifesteal any of the poke that Lucian Nami want to do. PNG don't have the easiest game to play, in my opinion. I think it comes down to the combination of Tristana and Scanner, and if they can actually win side. If they can't win side, then Yon, Jax, and Sejuani will just grow so strong, and then it's tough to break, of course. But I feel like this is a composition together with Rel and Scanner that they have enough tools to get a fight going, Obviously, Lucian Nami need to be pressured somehow, but it is what it is, All right. Looking at this game, let's pull up PSG versus PNG game one. This was a very beautiful game for PNG, in my opinion. I think they played wonderfully. I think the main things that stood out, I think, from PSG's side is that they looked so afraid. We had a situation where eventually, the first active thing that happened this game was that there was a swap in the top side, and Lucian Nami go bot first. I don't know how they ended up in this position. Basically, it's like the swaps were matched at some point. Here, Lucian Nami open on top side, and this ward spots everything, right? Spots everything, and this makes the decision for Miss Fortune and Rel super easy. Aziz just has to channel his recall and walk into bottom side. The wave is bouncing, so they're super happy. Already, PNG is bleeding a little bit of CS, and they burn TP of Jax. And then eventually here, it's so weird because Lucian Nami just tanked the base. They just tanked the base here after using all their mana, but they have 2 biscuits. They tanked the base here while MF is on the wave. I think that was very strange. Very, very strange. So they lose tempo and they lose bot waves, and they have Rumble against Lucian, and they have these lane assignments. Junji has to flash out. I think this was not good at all. It's like Lucian, they lose a lot of CS on everybody, and I don't like it. Continue. This is where things started to go very wrong for PSG. So here, Tristana has 3 grubs. You can choose to hit the plating here with the tempo advantage she had, get a plating, be happy. Now she goes for top dive, doesn't have Tristana ult because she used it before, and they go for this top dive on Wiser. Wiser still has E on, so you can just wait until Tristana uses E and then chill, and then he uses E to try to stun Azi, but Azi flashes it. Eventually, he survives 1 HP because of the extra armor from R, and now, he Qs out, flashes, and Azi doesn't have enough damage to finish Wiser off because he has Merc, so he has MR damage. So this was very tragic. Because Yon actually could take a plating here. Tristana lost the plating, lost all tempo, lost 2 waves of CS. Let me just open the doorbell while you contemplate your life. We repeat. I think that Tristana could just auto him one more time and kill him. Agreed. I don't know what he's cooking here. Like he gets W reset. He even got W reset off E. No, am I crazy? Auto him one more time and it's all good. Maybe he was scared of getting queued, but I think he would kill him in the air. Either way, I think it was horribly played because in the end, Yon takes a plating here. He could have taken one plating. 2 waves lost for Tristana, lost all tempo, lost the plating, and of course Jax got all the CS and he's chilling, you know. And Rumble lost CS while this dive was occurring, so very, very bad play. Here as well, PSG, they just snap and use everything on karaoke. Like, I think this is a moment where, this is, like, I don't know if you watched a Sackdown episode of Inspire. Here, it's all about just holding your spells. In this moment, Maple should be fucking hitting this guy. Hitting. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. He's so fucking scared here. PSG should not burn every tool in the world on karaoke, because here they drop Rumble ult, they pull all Woody spells, he flashes out as well. Like, they pull all spells in the world, trying to kill karaoke, but he flashes out, and it gives Titan and Dinkero all the space in the world to actually snap back and hit. And then Maple, I don't know what the fuck Maple did here. Maple went for some crazy play here. He E's, and then he jumps over the wall to find the lethal, the flash R, but he of course doesn't have lethal because Curry heals him, and I think even if he didn't heal him, I think it was easy. I think that's terrible. Not good. All right. So PSG in this whole game, they just looked so stiff because they never wanted to pull the trigger, which was very strange. And PNG, they actually like made us hopeful. They made us very, very hopeful. We continue. I think a big fucking travesty is this Drake that is coming up here, because PSG posturing forward, items are very similar. It's just that we have the Imperial Mandate, which is, just the item completed. Rumble is coming forward. And here, another very, very good example of what it means to create space. Here, nobody is walking forward with Junjia. Everyone's scared of everything, so it means that everything is doing everything at the same time. Let me explain. If everybody's scared of every spell, it means that the value of a spell, like imagine you have 5 people in a room and I have 1 bullet and you have to defeat me. It's like, I'm not going to, like the worst thing is if you guys like place your necks next to one another and I just take 1 bullet and it just penetrates all necks. But I have 1 bullet and you have to defeat me, right? This is a simulation. No one's going to die or anything. It's a simulation. Well, VR goggles, okay? You just have to rush me, right? You have to rush me because I have to be forced to use that 1 bullet. But if everybody is afraid of the same bullet, then obviously, like, my bullet is having 5 times the value. And that's not okay. That's not passable. We can't live with that. We can't allow that. So in this case, right, we just need Woody to posture forward. If he gets hit at Raided by Illusion, okay, then Maple can posture forward. Then Betty can move forward. Use your Rumble ult, use your Misfortune ult, create some space. Someone needs to do something. They're all waiting for Scanner ult to grab 5 people or something here. But Junjia is posturing forward because he's trying to take space, but nobody's posturing forward for him. Nobody. The moment Nami ults like this, people should walk forward and pressure these guys. Help your boy. Junjia is getting griefed, kind of elo health. He's just trying to get something done. And PNG, secure, Drake number 3. Wiser in a good spot, good angle, I like that. And PNG played it cool. Good. They have a very nice arc that make what I'm describing a little bit more difficult, but this wasn't a competitive fight because PSG don't know what the fuck they are doing here, man. They were kind of, choking, the balls were stripping up. I think Woody just got into his head because in Pick'em people picked Rel for the most death champion, and Woody was like, yo, I need to preserve the Pick'em, preserve the Pick'em. Like, this is the moment where you need to go in to die, you need to go in to die. Like, if you choose to fight that, and you go. You go, plain and simple. We fast forward now to Seoul. This is another one of those moments with PSG, they feel like finally they have a fight moment, but this is such a choke point where whoever engages is going to be losing. So you kind of contest the the red, and then you peace up. But PSG finally want to take a fight here, and it's just such a bad chokehold because once again you can see this arc that is occurring for anyone that tries to penetrate. There's an arc here for anybody that tries to penetrate. But in this moment, Junjia and Woody are the ones trying to penetrate. And Woody goes too deep, and then obviously Dinkero gets a very nice snap here. Woody Fruity. We continue. Now we have this moment around the Dretzky. Red team slay it, and then Kato and the gang, PNG, they just walk out, they're chilling. And of course with this soul, that's all she wrote, man. They're chilling. They're trying to find a fight that's never gonna occur, and Junjia gets collapsed on. Really like the spacing here from Titan. I think Titan was very impressive today, man. I saw Titan play Kalista, and I think that, you know, that's cool, you know, that's cool. I saw him play Kalista in Champions Queue. He played very well. Today he played very well across the board, I think. Very, very good. All right, that's it. That's the game. That's the game. I guess we have to watch Nasher because this was fucking funny. So PNG hitting Nasher after Junjia dies. Looks like it's about to be free. But the key thing here is Karaoke uses Smite to do a little bit of damage here to Junjia. He just feels it. Boom, Smite used. Which means he has no Smite for the Nash. Which means that there is some cinema to be had at this Nasher. The Nasher falling quickly. All PNG need to turn because they don't have the Smite. So they want a stray MF ult to just kill it. They just have to turn with a Yon E into Q3 into Yon R and all will be good. Misses it. Wiser, Q's over the wall, he's tanking the Nasher. Karaoke leaves the pit for some reason. What is the call that PNG is making? I'm not really sure. Karaoke steps back and lets his boy tank it. Why is Wiser tanking it? He doesn't have E because he wasted it before. Wiser uses E for no reason. For DPS in this moment. He uses it for DPS. Very bad. 140 damage to Nash. Is not something you want to use your cooldown for. Nasher also raging, doing so much damage to them. But Wiser is tanky with no armor, he has Merc Threads, remember, and his E is on cooldown. Karaoke walks away, Rumble ult lands, Rumble ult, clips through the bot lane, Dinquero tries to find the snap forward. But the key thing here is Wiser uses his fucking E, doesn't have the Q forward, doesn't have anything, and Dinquero is stuck in the pit. PNG are abandoning. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We will never know. Woody is tanking Nasher for some reason for Dinquero, who's behind the pit. Woody is just walking on it. Woody is getting knocked up here. Woody just wanted to feel some Nasher love. Dinquero snaps with his E, uses Stride Breaker, snaps back. I don't understand why PSG just don't let this guy die in the pit. He should just be rotting in the pit, but instead they tank the Nasher for him. And Wiser, very low HP, is basing, calling that he wants to TP back. But in this moment, the snap out from Dinquero clutches onto Rumble, and it looks like this fight is going to look very ugly for PNG. Karaoke stays in the pit. Look at Karaoke in the pit, he's 1 HP, and Smite is ticking, finally gets it off cooldown, gets a Smite off. One HP, guys. 1 HP. Cinema. And then you have PNG. Look at this Titan snap. Gets a Q on 2 into the auto and into the E. Very nice. Very well played. Titan. Ba 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 ba. It looked like a fucking Wesley Snipes sequence here with the Lucian. Got Blade in the building, guys. That was game 1, which made everybody hopeful for game 2. Game 2, it seems like PSG kind of modernized their draft. With the Sejuani switch up instead of the Orianna ban and the Scanner locking on first. And now PNG, they went for the own Rumble. Same thoughts as before surrounding Rumble. It's a risky pick, I think, nowadays. But they pick it. It is what it is. Akali gets locked in. Akali decent into Yone and Rumble. And then Nar as well. There was some discussion. Some other streamers were saying that Jarvan should be picked here. But that's complete fucking free lose. You don't want to play Jarvan against Scanner, Akali, Nar. I think it's impossible. The only jungle that actually makes sense here against Akali showing and you having Rumble top is Vi. And then the conversation should be maybe picking Rumble was complete troll. They're picking Rumble because I think with Titan standing in the team, they don't want him to play Ziggy. I think usually what you see here is Yone, Ziggs, jungle on 3, and then the composition looks better because you have options on top to make the matchup into Nar good. Because let's say the enemy team went Scanner and then Akali as an answer into Yone and then the blind pick Nar, and all of a sudden you have Ziggs, Yone, Camille, and then you drop jungle because you compare it with AP jungle, AD jungle, you compare that with tank jungle, everything, right? The composition just looks better. But it just seems like PNG don't want to play Ziggy because Titan is the best player here, and then Rumble gets locked in as a blind. But I think Rumble is quite weak. And I think just Vi, there's no better pick than Vi in the spot that is going to be good against Akali and good with Yone and Rumble. And then the question is, of course, Rumble is just trash. That I can see. Rumble picking Rumble here is not good. Usually, I think you should just pick AD here on 2 and see what you want to do on 3. I think it's better because you're holding then the Yone flex too, because you can send Yone Gnar too, right? Let's see. Obviously, Gnar gets picked because Rumble is showing, so I'm not saying that Gnar is guaranteed here, but this of course matters. Varus Rakan gets banned, Lucian, Alistar, and then Ezreal on 4. Misfortune Rel. I think that here probably I would prefer maybe something like Kai'Sa with the picking Misfortune just for the matchup. Misfortune into Ezreal. It's not the easiest matchup for Ezreal because Misfortune can just perma push and she can heal up any poke. So it feels very bad to play Ezreal into Misfortune, so I get why they pick Misfortune. And then the Braum here I think is not good. Picking Braum against Akali and Gnar and Skarner even, I don't think there's value there. I think that you need more CC for your composition, that is Yone, Rumble, Vi. I think it's better to just pick something like Leona here. I think it just makes more sense. Kitty, thank you very much. Kitty, thank you very much for the raid. We're currently breaking down everything that we see on the screen. God damn it, PSG. PSG were cooking. They were cooking. They were cooking some horrible garbage in game 1. They just griefed our friend and boy, Junjia. But luckily, they bounced back. Thank you very much for the raid, Kitty. I hope you're enjoying Berlin. Maybe when I swing by, I will say hello, because I'm co-streaming one day there in Berlin. I'm going there to meet all the homies that I have in all the world's teams. I have to take the opportunity because the esports world is so wide, you know. It's hard to get to meet everybody that you know. So I'm going to swing by there for one day to co-stream from the venue. But nevertheless, PNG versus PSG, game number 3. Did we talk? We didn't watch game number 2. Let's watch game number 2. What a switch up here. What a switch up. But I have to say, I think this game was concluded pretty fair and square. It was just concluded the moment we had the big 2v2 on top side that meant that Gnar would have initiative for the rest of the game. The main tricky part here is that you have... He swapped to fucking Jhin. I talked about Misfortune, swapped to Jhin. Did I just lie? No, I didn't lie. Leaguepedia lied. Leaguepedia! What are you doing to me, Leaguepedia? I'm talking about Misfortune here. And it was Jhin. Alright. Well, Jhin serves a similar purpose, but it's slightly worse against Ezreal, but it's also good for comp. Like, you can never go wrong with Jhin as long as you have damage to kill shit, and the enemy team have no tanks. Right? Jhin just goes static shift, clears waves on mid wave, and the way these compositions will play out, right, is you have a situation where if one side is stronger on side, they will dominate the whole game. Dominate the whole game. This is the moment where the 2v2 is coming up. Let me just pull it up, because that to me is a crucial moment. Junjia is trading with Weiser. Weiser is getting tremored. He's trying to fight back against Ozzy. Ozzy flashes out, I think a little bit too soon. Vi comes in. Ozzy gets the mega right on time, but Weiser is getting killed by the tremors that Skarner leaves behind. Junjia, just because of his faster clear speed, was just a little bit faster on top and gets the double kill. All of a sudden now, with the condition of Rumble, top wave freezing, Ozzy just being able to take that cannon and then base and keep the freeze. For me, this is such a game over type of situation already, because Junjia will be stronger than Vi in all of the 3v3s and the 2v2s that can occur. And of course, Gnar is going to dominate side now because Rumble didn't get any significant advantage. Another thing to point out is the Akali here from Maple looked very good in lane against Dinkedo. He was 20 CS ahead. And if you're strong on side, I think you dictate the whole game too. We fast forward, let's see if there was any crucial moments. I think this one was a little bit dangerous from PSG. I thought, damn, they're going to be in trouble again. Because here, Weiser has TP with Mega. He could have sent it on this trap way earlier, but he's just hitting the turret. He's being a greedy little boy. I think if he's just TPs here earlier with the Mega, I think they could have gotten a really nice fight because the wave is already pushed, would have been better. He's being a greedy boy. Akali as well. I don't know what Akali is doing. Akali is trying to find the Ezreal, but he does not right-click into this fight after finding the Ezreal. He is like circulating, percolating. I guess he's walking straight. He was just kind of fighting. No, he's going back. Now he's going back. Look at that, man. Another thing here, even though the Skarner ult is beautiful, Woody layers his CC on the Skarner ult, so they don't have the damage to supply this. It's also, it's like, what's the combo? It's Skarner ult into the Jhin grenade. Ba 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 ba. You know, it's like a fucking Babybel commercial. Have you seen those Babybel commercials? Have you guys seen the fucking Babybel commercials? Like the really old school ones? And the Babybel is like bouncing, you know, like the Babybel is like bouncing into the pockets of children. No? Alright. So that's the combo here, the Babybel combo. There's no damage, there's no Gnar, there's no Akali follow-up. And that is a problem. No TP from Gnar. Maple kind of oinking on mid lane. Even though he isolated Ezreal, pushed him out, was good. I think he should need to right-click to the situation faster. 3 for 3. PNG is very happy considering like how fucking strong blue side was, right? We'll continue. Yo, Allah DVD B, thank you very much for the 5 gifts and subs. You're far too kind. Thank you very much. Only love. Arrivederci, my friend. Well, that means goodbye. No, please stay. Stay a while and listen. We continue. I'm so excited for my food. I feel like a hungry wolf that is just hunting. Hunting. No problem. Felt bad about the blocking ads in my screen, bro. Block ads all you want, bro. If I'm watching fucking Twitch, I block ads too, bro. Do you think I have fucking shame? I have ad block here, look. Ad block on, bro. Like fucking enjoy your life, man. The fucking life is too short to be watching ads about fucking paper towels and insurance. Yo, the press pain sad. Oh, thank you very much for the prime. Living in Hong Kong for the next 6 months, still supporting my favorite local content creator from the other side of the globe. Keep being you. Love. Thank you very much. Depressed, pain sad. I hope your name is not true to your experience in Hong Kong. Alright. I was surprised to hear that Hong Kong has the highest life expectancy in the world, which is kind of crazy. Alright. I can't skip past the game decider. It's this fight here. It's a very good turn. Dugia is just so tanky. They got the root onto the Vi, grabbed him. GG. Nice ult from Ozzy. GG. Yeah. I'm glad to hear that the press pain said. I'm gonna call you DPS, okay? Your new name is DPS. Let's take a look at game 3 to round off day 1. Here, I think that PSG had such a free win if to just slam Camille here on 5. I don't know why they wanted to complicate it with the Vayne lock-in. Vayne is just Nash damage. Akali Wukong as a slam into Syndra. I think that if they pick Amumu here on 3, I think that they kind of win the game on the spot. Not to win the game on the spot, but I think they win the draft on the spot because they just need the front line of the CCs, you know, Akali and Wukong. I think Wukong struggles against Amumu, and I think that Amumu would have been so fucking brilliant here. Honestly, Amumu on 3. They pick Lee. They kind of tunnel vision a little bit too hard. And I think if they pick Camille on 5, I think it would have been beautiful. Someone in the chat asked about what about Ornn or Malphite instead of Camille. I think that when you have Wukong, Akali, you just want to pick something that works on the same beats as them. And I think a Camille ult here would do marvelous work against Akali and Wukong because all of them together would just create so much space. Jhin, Leona, Camille, Wukong, and Akali have great synergy in terms of how they commit and snap and how they play side. I would have preferred Camille or I think Camille would have been beautiful here. Nevertheless, they first pick Syndra, Akali comes in. I don't know why they pivoted to Syndra completely after 2 Young games. It is what it is. Ashe, I hate Lee Sin. I hate Lee Sin. Unless you are God Lee Sin, you don't pick Lee Sin. I hate it. Jhin gets picked on 3, Leona into Alistar, Gnar, and then Vayne on 5. Vayne lanes well into Gnar, but how do you win games with Vayne? Currently, what has made Vayne a lot worse? People told me, and I know that Mr. Azzy played some Vayne regular splits, but fuck this shit. Vayne has no more Ghost. Ghost is nerfed through the roof. Fleet Footwork is nerfed. Additionally, there's no Stormrazor. All of these things give you crazy move speed and give you a lot of lane pressure, but now people Now people are lane swapping into you. Like, the momentum of bot lane is so important. If you get swapped into as a Vayne once, you can get dove easy, you can't push for shit. It's very problematic. Vayne is horrible in the meta. You could even see it in the one game that Zeus played Vayne. He had a good Vayne game, he plays Vayne good, but he didn't contribute to the game until 30 minutes. The same thing was true here. I think that he was lucky that he got to the point where he got useful, because there was only one that Drake fight, where of course PNG were in a position where they almost got sold because Maple got caught. I think that swapping would have been interesting for blue side too against the Vayne, but I think it's okay to play lanes too. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Let's continue. I think swapping, it makes sense against Vayne. Vayne can't push. She's very slow. Let's move. I think the PNG did a good job of keeping intact in this game. Like, I think this sequence was very nice here from Karaoke. He just pushes forward and gets so much information for his team. As Ashe and Alistar are coming, they are like Karaoke, the enemy team doesn't know the timing exactly of I think that if your bot lane bases, you don't want to give everything out for free. Like, you don't want Junjia to just solo to Drake here. So Karaoke push it forward. PSG aren't aware of the exact timing of Ashe and Alistar, and they are preparing for the position. Weiser also creates space. I think this is very good from PNG. Now Ashe and Alistar are coming, and PNG aren't super scared because they are reading what PSG is doing, and they managed to pick up the Drake. PSG saw some signs in game 3 that was similar to game 1, and I am honestly not super impressed by PSG. I'm impressed by Junjia. I think Junjia played well. I think that he made a crucial mistake in this game, but I think in general he's good. But I feel like I don't know. I think Woody is not that good, and I think Ozzy picking Vayne here is really bad. I think just Woody just doesn't strike me as a great player, if we think about the context of the rest of the tournament, you know. All right. Now we have a fight. This is the fight where Weiser completely just drops his keyboard on the floor and does a rain dance. That's the only way I can explain this. Flashes forward, W's in the other direction, gets pushed away, doesn't flash R. I don't know what the fuck the plan was there. Even flashing forward was ridiculous. And he even here, I don't know what, he just misclicks to the plant. He could just live, walk away. I think you couldn't have played it worse. Lane swap is nerfed. No, lane swap nerfs are non-existent. I don't know what the fuck Weiser did. He ulted floor. He fucking walked back to the plant. I don't know what the fuck happened here. Just cut the tape. None the wiser. Very silly here. Very silly. My man's choking. Then we cut the replay into he's dying on bot. We have a race for... He has a race for the tier 2s. We did review the Mad Lions game. It already happened. Let's continue. Here I was very surprised by PSG that they don't snap earlier. I don't know why PSG is giving this all up. It's as if Maple is saying, guys, I'm pushing, don't fight. But it's like, if the enemy motherfuckers are fake checking you here, you fucking snap and kill them because there's 3 wards for your mid laner to TP on. Here, Woody should not give this up. He's listening to his top laner, I mean his Maple that is in top, and is getting way too scared. Look at the items. 2, Hawk 2. They have 2 items everywhere. And they are way stronger. The fact that PNG are even bold enough to approach this Dretsky is crazy. Crazy talk. Maple TPs after pushing the wave. They managed to get the Drake, 16 HP, 1 auto, Lee Sin kick. I don't know why they are so... I don't know why they are so scared. Now Akali snaps, finds Titan. If, of course, he gets a flank like that, there's no way PNG win. And then here, finally, Vayne can be useful, guys. Vayne, pew, pew, pew. Shooting the damn Nashor. This is what Vayne is here for. Monster Hunter. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Easy peasy, bro. We continue. Nicely on ultimate. The game is pretty much over. Soul is coming up. Ozzy, I don't know why he's here. He's fucking flanking. Maple's marking the spot 2. Here, this fight was so close. This is a fight that Maple plays so well. We're gonna just look at what he does. He holds his spells, REs. Honestly, Maple doesn't do anything special. He just kind of holds his spells and doesn't do anything. I don't know why he doesn't fucking play. Betty is playing more than he does, actually, if I'm looking at this again. Look at Betty. Betty is like going forward on the Aussie getting caught. Like, look how far forward Betty is, and Maple is here, bro, in fucking Zimbabwe, man. I honestly don't think Maple played that great, man. I think even in the fucking Akali games, I think he just got fed and had easy games to play, in my opinion. Especially the second one, because his Violent was just being spent on other shit, you know? Alright. Now for the final moment of the game. Let's find it. Final moment of the game. This got really funky because Maple... I don't know where Maple's going. Drake is spawning in 30. I think he pushed bot lane a little bit too fast. And they just find this little collapse. Just found this little collapse move. And Maple is in the wrong direction. Oh my days. Just as Soul is spawning. We go forwards. This is the one fight where Vayne actually looked quite useful, because now there's no Lee Sin kick, and no Ash Arrow, no Cinder ult. Vayne actually has like space to play, you know? But here the craziest thing is just how Junjia manages to survive off of so many fucking Sundered Sky procs. So Titan gets a fucking nice flash of the wall. And here they're fighting to the death in the Drake pit. Woody's finally waking up to help out his boy. Really good W over the wall on Nazi to punish him after he flash in, right? And then he can't cross into the fight. But look at Junjia just surviving. Look at the Sundered Sky procs, the W, the Sundered Sky. Oh my days, the Triumph as well. And the healing from the pet as well. And then finally the fight is over. And that's what's up. And that's what's up. To give, let's say, badges of honor for everybody involved, I think for Mad Lion series, I think Alvaro was my guy. I think Alvaro was really, really fucking solid. I think Alvaro played out of his mind in the series where Mad Lions played. He gets my first MVP. And then PSG versus PNG. I think that for me, I would have to say that, I have to say that Betty probably looked like the most solid. I think Betty looked the most solid, and then I think Titan gets an honorable mention, you know? I think that Betty looked pretty fucking good today, man. I think that Betty played really fucking clean. I think that I have nothing to complain about Betty, and I think there were moments where I'm like, damn, mechanically impressive, Betty. Black Betty Bam-a-lam. All right. In terms of the matchups for tomorrow, I think there's not a lot of commentary to be had. I do think that Pain Gaming is going to completely smoke Viking Esports. Viking Esports didn't look good at all today. Bad Drake setups, bad fight setups. They looked all over the place. I feel like this type of team, you know what they should do? They should pick Akali. They should pick fucking... They should just pick commit. Just buttons. Just pick buttons. Don't complicate it. Don't play mages. Don't do any of that jazz, because you don't know how to fucking create space for anybody. Like the way Viking Esports fought today was really bad. Pathetic. PNG actually looked solid in game 3 today. I think they looked solid in game 1 as well. I think it was, more to be had. In terms of what we saw today between Mad Lions and PSG, honestly, I think Mad Lions looked a little bit better, man. I think Mad Lions looked a little bit better. I think they looked a little bit better. I think the main question is, Mad Lions played 2 games of Jinx swapping. But Mad Lions have, you know, their early game is their strength. So I'm not worried about their early game. The main thing that worries me about Mad Lions is if their leads aren't significant enough in the later parts of the game, are they gonna still make the same mistakes? Probably yes. And then I think those mistakes you can't do against PSG. So I think it's gonna be a close series, but I have to favor Mad Lions right now with based on what we saw with PSG, you know? With what we saw with PSG. I just think that Woody is not that great. I think Maple is not that great. It's a hard one to call, I would have to say, because Mirwin didn't look great today, and they did have a couple of throws, and I think Viking Esports is also giga trash, and I think that made all the objective setups really easy. Another thing is, I don't want to put too much weight into game 1 as well, because PSG just look giga nervous, and I think that's going to be easier for them in the next series. So, I don't know. It's a tough one to call. Tough one to call. I think that's one. If you're a gamble degen, just join the Discord and I will give you my feedback real time, because I think it will be very draft centric. You know, I think it will be very draft centric. All right.